Attention shoppers, clean up on aisle 14. Clean up on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Geico.
This is the Dan Levatar Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
All right, we really enjoyed yesterday's show, and today's is going to be better. Dominic Foxworth is coming in here, and I'm going to tell you why it's going to be better right now, because of, this show is drowning right now in what can only be described as chaos. We've got too many crusades going on. That's one problem. Mike did not sign up to be a crusade. He was just a radio producer, and now because we don't have a crusade department, we've got too many crusades going on. So mistakes are going to be made, and we're going to fall in holes. Dominic Foxworth is here to try to help carry us. He thinks we should add more crusades. But right now, I just heard Mike Ryan, we've made a bunch of mistakes, and now it sounds like somebody at 99-something-9 in some city in Tulsa thinks that a Markenzie Johnson is coming on the show.
Martenzie, that's a fun.
Mother!
Yep, it's 99.9 The Fan.
Whatever.
Martenzie's a great dude. I think we should, if we're pitching or we're promoting the show in Tulsa that Martenzie's going to be on the show, we need to find Martenzie and get him on the show.
All right, let's backtrack for just a second. Mike, during the middle of everything that was happening, and I'm waving around documents here like I'm a journalist. Mike, just muttering under his breath. This is actually what he said. He's like, 49 boxes of T-shirts. That's all I heard from him, because he's planning a parade at UCF. We have got UCF fired up because we got to go to Orlando to celebrate their national championship that Paul Feinbaum is mad about. And I'm here for any championship that Paul Feinbaum is mad about.
Yeah, you're on the right side.
I am on the correct side of history here. Him with his SEC love complaining because UCF beat his beloved team that beat the other two teams. UCF is the champion. So we got that parade going on. Mike's not a parade planner. We're trying to smoke out the owner of the Marlins, because all of these people that were in cahoots to bleep Miami, we want to put them out in front of everybody to make fun of them. So that's another crusade.
We're not really trying. We're just talking about trying.
Well, no, but we smoked out the commissioner.
Yeah,
we are trying. We are going to get there. We'll get there eventually.
All right. That was a successful crusade. That's why I think we have a vacancy. We have an opening for another crusade, because you successfully got the commissioner on here and got him to face some hard truths.
Okay, so what are some other crusades we can take up? Because I got one. It's much smaller than the others, but I have a nominee.
More crusades?
Yes, another crusade. I would like to understand. It's a crusade to understand why A-Rod thinks he could pick the play-by-play guy for ESPN, as is suggested in reports. It's suggesting in reports that A-Rod is so rehabilitated. He is so rehabilitated after, being banned from the sport. All you need to do is date J-Lo. We'll chase you through the streets. But he's so rehabilitated that he's done what? How many games has A-Rod done in his career? 4? 5? You get to pick your play-by-play guy on Sunday Night Baseball? Everybody knows it's Boog Shambi. Boog Shambi is the best we got at the network. He's the best we got. Everybody knows it. A-Rod's going to sabotage that? These are reports, by the way. I don't know if this is true. I'm just reading reports.
I mean, if J-Lo gives you the thumbs up, that's good enough for me.
Be careful. You don't want to get on the wrong side of A-Rod. He may be your boss soon.
Yep.
Be careful.
Well, this is what's happening. That's amazing in the Centaurian rise of A-Rod. He's totally rehabbed. Just sprinkle some J-Lo on it. How? We went Pedro Gomez. I saw Pedro Gomez chasing a Miami doctor through a parking lot because of A-Rod.
Remember those days?
Yeah, I mean, wait a minute, what? What, he gets to pick the play-by-play guy? No, he doesn't get to. What are you talking about? It's A-Rod. Have we all forgotten that it's A-Rod?
I mean, you might as well ask at this point if you're
no,
A-Rod.
I get making the ask if you're A-Rod. Nobody at ESPN can take that seriously.
Oh. It's so incredible how fickle we are as a society. Just a smile, some good jokes. We show us you got a good personality. Whatever.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he brought J-Lo back.
It's a bad crusade, Dan. I'm going to argue that this not be the crusade.
It's a bad crusade.
Because, A, he's too powerful. And B, who's going to be the play-by-play guy is not as important as the crusade I'd like to suggest.
Well, all right. I want to get to what your crusade is in a second. Mine, admittedly, might be a bad crusade. And I say this as someone who has, I don't name drop this. I just have known A-Rod since he was high school. So I was there the day that he was drafted in his home because he's a Miami athlete. And this is the single most amazing sports journey I've ever seen. And I'm including Ali. Like, what the hell has A-Rod done in his life that he can arrive here today? This is what America has birthed.
J-Lo.
This is what America has birthed, as 7 of the top 10 Twitter follows in the world are Biebers and Katy Perrys and Kardashians. What America's birth is that you deserve as your athlete who replaces Ali to be A-Rod.
As you get older, Dan, you just get so much hate in your spirit, and I don't like it.
You really do.
But tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Who's the athlete for our times more than A-Rod?
Let's celebrate
Let's not make it civil rights. Let's make it about guy who went through scandal that wasn't really actually a scandal, and all it did was increase his celebrity.
Don't hate, celebrate.
It didn't work that way for Lance Armstrong, did it?
Not quite.
No.
It's never worked that way for any human being I've ever seen. Wait, what? A-Rod gets to pick who he works with on the bread. What has A-Rod done?
I told you, J-Lo.
Other than give us content for a year laughing at him because we were chasing his doctors who weren't doctors through parking lots. We're just going to keep giving A-Rod all the greatest jobs in entertainment?
I'm doing HQ with you all week, and on Tuesday on HQ, you were hating on the idea that John Gruden was reportedly getting proposed ownership stake in the team. You're just a hater.
You know, what it might be is I don't like that people at ESPN are getting more power than I am.
That's what it is.
Is that what it is? Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
oh,
Wow.
Maybe is that why Stephen A. Smith ripped Gruden the other day? Because that's the power struggle that's what it is. I just realized it. Thank you for being a mirror. Oh, I don't like myself. I see A-Rod. Wait a minute. Gruden's gone now. More room for me and our stuff. Everybody get out of the way.
You'll learn to be comfortable in your own skin.
I don't like what's looking back at me. The top spot's open. Do we have to knock down Stephen A. Smith to get at it? What's looking back at me is you.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Getting a quote is easier than ever. Here's your SportsCenter update. UCF has claimed the national championship, recognizing their undefeated season, and AD Danny White said that the school will pay their coaches title bonuses. The Lithuania team that is taking in LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball are trying to set up a basketball tournament so they can receive more playing time. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
But I blew it. I didn't get to Dominique's crusade. What can we do? What other crusades? Mine is admittedly not a great crusade.
T.O. in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's a good one.
I got to get T.O. in the Hall of Fame.
I got my own crusade. Tony Baselli in the Hall of Fame.
We got to attach Baselli to T.O. We'll get extra points.
Package deal?
Package deal. We got to add a little, little whiteness to this campaign.
Oh, T.O. can get in with a little bit of Baselli's.
Yeah.
I was a gritty, tough guy, and I never had controversy because I'm a great teammate.
So we got to get them together.
Don Lebatard.
I'm telling you, we are good here. Trust me. I've never let you down.
Stugats.
It's like living a life. Imagine living your life, and every time you take a step, you know you might step on a landmine. That's my life. I'm married to a minefield, and he doesn't know that he's a minefield. It's just like, trust me, Dan, we got this, while cleaning the chocolate out of his teeth with his tongue.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Okay, I need to explain something to you, and I promise you on the front end. Dominique Foxworth in with us all show today. Delighted to have him around. I don't say this to brag. I say this so that you guys understand that we're going to be bad for a few days here because we're a little bit overwhelmed. And the reason we're overwhelmed is because this show has had a recent growth spurt where you guys like us. And so now all of a sudden we've got a parade in Orlando next week that we have to be a part of with Central Florida. And Mike is planning a megacast so that you could. So we're doing a radio show during the national championship game, and that takes a lot of effort. But 49 boxes are here declaring Central Florida champions. Mike is an administrative assistant. He's not a parade planner. Mike is in over his head, deeply deep. I see it in his eyes. He comes in here and he doesn't. He's the guy who walks into a messy room of a hoarder and doesn't know where to start cleaning up. So he looks over here and there's like a bucket of urine. And then there's 49 boxes of UCF is the national championship t-shirts. And also there's a megacast on Monday. And ESPN will blow this up until it all flames out in the sky. And we are all dead from the doing of this. And the first person they're going to kill is Mike.
Who has to figure out what to do with 49 boxes of T-shirts.
Right. Mike's going to have to plan his own funeral, too. Like, who else
That's
does
right.
it?
I'm not doing it. I'll speak. Stugotz and I will show up. Stugotz for an appearance fee.
Oh, absolutely. Hefty one.
But here's the deal with the UCF thing. We want to do something really big and really cool, and I don't want to reveal what that is, but we have two plans in place.
Well, let's explain to the audience, just so that if you do not understand, UCF is the national champion of college football, and ESPN is conducting a bogus experiment on Monday that we're going to spend the entire time mocking because it's a fraud national championship, because UCF deserves to be the national championship, if for no other reason that it makes Paul Feinbaum insane. Continue.
We'll get to that Paul Feinbaum sound in a moment. His response to our UCF celebration. So there is a parade that was officially announced that UCF is honoring their national champion and yours listening too. They're your national champion.
That's right.
They're going to be doing it at the Magic Kingdom, which
right.
I don't really foresee the Magic Kingdom allowing me to just bring in 49 boxes of T-shirts.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? We are the Magic Kingdom.
Exactly.
We're Disney. We're Disney.
Someone has to be able to get clearance
the
on
Magic
that.
Kingdom. What do you think? We have to go to Cinderella's castle and ask like a security guard? We are Disney.
You would think, but it's more complicated than that. Also, I'm having a trophy constructed because we decided against giving them the Gregory P. Cody Fantasy 3-foot trophy.
Right, that was slightly insulting and an inside joke that probably this is taken. See, one of the things is that we're not taking this seriously, but I think UCF might be, so giving them a 3-foot fantasy trophy that's been in Mike's garage for 2 years probably is insulting.
You think they might be? They have anointed themselves the national champion.
They are following along. ESPN, I don't know. You know what's funny about what's happening here is a portion of ESPN, including us, on Monday will be celebrating this fraud national championship that ESPN created as a made-for-TV enterprise. But over here, one part of ESPN is pouring its resources into, no, we got another champion, and bleep yourselves.
Yeah, this trophy is a lot less gaudy. It's not 3 feet. It's only 2.5 feet, and it's beautiful, the thing. And I'm researching white gloves because I want this thing guarded. I figured out on Tuesday we weren't getting the right response from UCF because it was a Gregory P. Cody. It's been in my garage. So we need to add some sort of prestige upon this thing and make UCF actually want it, because this thing that we're constructing is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So we got that parade that's still, we may very well be at the Magic Kingdom on Sunday, but we're trying to do something bigger than that.
What happened? Wait a minute, Guillermo, what happened? You just threw your hands up in the air. This is going to kill our staff, okay? I want you guys to understand this, that this is going to be like Apocalypse Now.
It's dizzying, man. Like I'm just you guys tell me where I need to be and when I need to be there.
Stugotz is just thinking, hey, and call his agent about the appearance fee.
Yeah.
Because Stugotz wants to waddle in, fire up the Stugotz army, declare a champion, and go home with he'd prefer to be paid with a cash sack that has a cartoon dollar on it.
I mean, I'm happy with this because Orlando is a shorter commute for me. I do every day from Orlando if we could. Have fun with that drive, Dan. Listen, you'll be in the car for an hour and a half, and you'll just be passing my house. 3 hours to go from there. Enjoy.
But I'm excited. I'm sort of invigorated by it. It is a little weird that these two big projects that we're working on are happening at the exact same time.
Well, no, but Dominique's got another good one. Much better than my crusade to have A-Rod not knock Boog Shambi out of that Sunday night.
That's great.
Baseball seat that he deserves. I mean, ask anybody at the company, man. Boog Shambi's the best we got. Bob Costas would tell you Boog Shambi's the best we got. Let's go. A-Rod doesn't get to make that decision.
But we're not going with that crusade. We're going to merge the campaigns for Hall of Fame of T.O. and Tony Baselli. So Baselli needs T.O. because T.O. has stats and numbers that linemen normally don't have. And T.O. could use Baselli because he has like this gritty football thing that people like, you know what I'm saying?
Why don't you just say it, though? Like, why are you talking around?
I was giving Mike some room, buddy. Relax. Slow down, man.
Mike wasn't ready. He's got 49 boxes back there.
Mike is always ready.
Mike was not ready for that.
Let me teach you how to do a radio show, Dan. Got to give Mike a little room. Relax. You're in such a hurry.
I gotta get a courier.
So I
think about Mike's trying to plan a parade and get a trophy. Like he's just got too much on
he
his
must
plate.
hit the white guys button when needed.
Oh, you just stepped over.
Could have used you giving me room there.
My bad.
After this show ends, whenever it ends, like I think that Mike can do any job I would hire him. I think he should run for president.
No, it can't be just Mike. It has to be Mike and his people. Because Mike is
my God.
over, and they're all drowning.
Yeah.
Everyone, all our guys are drowning.
But after they get through this, is there anything that they won't be able to accomplish?
I mean, this is pretty good.
I'm being lifted by so many great people in Bristol and D.C. right now. However, if it all goes wrong, I'm pretty sure I'm getting the blame.
Oh, for sure.
You're a head coach. You should be a head football coach. Your beloved Cleveland Browns, I'm sure Hugh Jackson will be out by the end of next season. You, sir, should be the next head coach.
Well, I want to analyze this honestly, though, because since we held up the therapy mirror to me last segment and realized that I simply want to be more powerful than John Gruden and Stephen A. Smith, and now no one's getting in our way as we climb up the ESPN corporate ladder, and I feel very embarrassed and shameful about how vain and awful that is. Thank you for revealing it to me. I think we have to now put the light on Mike. We have to sort of see what's going on here with Mike, because here it is at the precipice of all your dreams come true, and you're in a hoarder's house and you don't know where to start. And executives are now trying to move Disney Magic Kingdom mountains in order to please the big successful radio show. And it's going to physically kill you.
That's what I'm dealing with right now. No doubt.
And your team. And your team might be the ones to kill you.
Oh, I would be nowhere without the team. Honestly, Foz and everybody in Bristol. I'm shouting out people.
But this is not a time for a thank you speech.
I need these people to do me favors, Dan.
But, I mean, you are realizing all your dreams. Is this what you thought it would feel like?
This is not my dream. I was rooting for Auburn. I was so mad when UCF
The
won.
radio show is soaring into the sky. We're a mega cast now.
I crumpled to the floor when the Auburn quarterback threw that interception in the end zone.
It's going to be great for you.
Well, but hold on a second. Is it going to be great or is it going to be a disaster? Because you know I'm going to be hugely uncomfortable being in front of a whole bunch of people declaring them national champions. It's much easier in front of this microphone than to have to socially interact with a bunch of people who don't realize that I'm kind of joking. Like, I totally support your cause, but only insofar as it gets our show attention.
It's really working counter to what we're trying to do. I wish UCF was in on the joke.
They're not, though.
I know.
They're not. You heard their athletic director. You think that day he was on the show the day we were celebrating the national championship. He's not in on the joke.
This is why we have Stu.
Oh, I'll take care of it.
He is going to kill it.
For a fee.
Dan Lebatard.
America is addicted to its technology, and it's really unhealthy.
I keep having this discussion with my wife because she is on that phone nonstop. And what I have asked for our family to do moving forward is let's figure out a time where all of us put our phones away and none of us use them till the next morning.
Stugats.
Yeah, but nobody wants to be with you.
That just dawned on me. Thanks, Dan.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
That's such a good idea you just had, Stugats, during the break. He is suggesting that the Browns need to figure out a way to parlay all their assets to get both Rosen
And Darnold.
And Darnold.
Neither which want to be there.
Neither of them want to be there, but just get the two picks so that you could just take them too. Get the 1 and the 2 so you just take them both. And look, we don't know if we've solved it, but we've got twice the chance as usual.
Mike, what do they have right now? You're a Browns fan. They have 1 and 4. Is that what they have right now?
1 and 4, sitting pretty.
They got 14 total picks, so they could package
them all for 1 and 2
to get 1 and 2
and just get both of them.
I'm not even certain they have to because the Colts are sitting at 3 and they have Andrew Luck, and the Giants are sitting at 2 and they have Eli Manning. I don't even know if they have to.
Jim Irsay basically came out and said they want.
What the hell did you just do?
Oh, no, the new GM. Have you seen this guy?
Gettleman? Yeah, Gettleman said he wants Eli back.
He is moving forward with Eli Manning.
All right, well, hold on a minute. I got something for this Gettleman. This guy got run out of Carolina. Nobody likes him. I got to say, talking about gas bags. Good Lord. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Gettleman the biggest gas bag in sports? We'll get to that in a second.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. The Dan Lebatard Show is brought to you by Pennzoil Synthetics. Taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Guest on the Dan Lebatard Show. Up here via the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. Here's your SportsCenter update. UCF has claimed the national championship. recognizing their undefeated season, and AD Danny White said that the school will pay their coaches title bonuses. The Lithuanian team that is taking in LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball are trying to set up a basketball tournament so they can receive more playing time. It's funny. And finally, HBO's True Detective has added Stephen Dorff to the cast for season 3. The actor will play an Arkansas State investigator who, along with his partner, has his life and career influenced over 3 decades by a baffling crime. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
We are looking to kill our staff with crusades throughout sports.
One crusade at a time?
We are in a bad
Actually, it's
place.
multiple crusades.
It's multiple
at
crusades.
one time.
And now Dominique wants another one. But let's think about this TO crusade for a second, because when you're doing this stuff for a long time, what ends up happening is opinions evolve, things change. And so once upon a time, the reason, if you like Greg Cody on our show, the place that started is because Greg Cody of the Miami Herald was sort of a cliched sports journalist, sort of doddering through a newspaper time. And one of the things that he would do on sports radio would ask the question, should steroid-tainted guys like Bonds and Clemens get into the Hall of Fame? But so many things have happened since that hacky radio question that started Greg Cody's popularity on our show, that Greg Cody now has a Hall of Fame vote that I lost because I sold it to Deadspin. And with that Hall of Fame vote, he has indeed voted for Clemens and Bonds this year. So that crusade, we can celebrate that is over. An unanswerable question has been answered. Do we now take the pukey sports radio hackneyed topic of Dominique's, which is, should T.O. be in the Hall of Fame, and make that our crusade?
Whoa. It's not a question. We know that he should. We are doing a crusade. The same way that we know that college athletes are being treated unfairly, that is a crusade that should be taken up. But right now we're going to take on a smaller crusade to do right by T.O. and Tony Boselli.
T.O., is there anyone who thinks T.O. shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Other than the people voting for it?
No, there are people.
No, other than people voting for it. Like, if we put it, there are people in our audience listening to the show who would look at the numbers and say that does not belong in the Hall of Fame.
Don't forget to put Boselli on there, too, so we can get 100%.
Yeah, I think there are people who were so turned off by T.O. and some of his antics that,
But
I
really?
think Bill Polian, I remember him saying last year he didn't think that T.O. was deserving.
Tony Boselli.
At least not first ballot.
But hold on a second,
Tony.
and I know, for those of you complaining, as you often do whenever a race topic makes an appearance, we haven't talked race around here very much, but Terrell Owens is defiant black man. And defiant black man in sports has rarely been treated well in team sports. In individual sports, yeah, because we fear boxers and fighters and violence, and so we'll give Jack Johnson as wide a berth as he wants because we don't want him to steal all our women. Like, that's what was happening in the 1920s. Now,
You think Jack Johnson had a wide berth?
he as the heavyweight champion, he had a different experience in America historically by a lot. He was somebody who was stopped by police officer with white women in his car, and it was yes, Mr. Johnson, where that probably wouldn't have happened to the average black person at the time.
Apologies for the sidetrack. Back to
No, that's okay. And so I want to figure out here though how we do this. Where do we go from here on this, Stugatz?
You're asking me where to go? Like, I'm the guy you're going to move forward on this?
The reason I'm asking the question is, T.O., I feel like everyone in the audience just simply knows T.O.'s excellence merits the Hall of Fame. That can't be disputed.
Yeah, but I think people also know that eventually he'll get in. Like, if he just waits around, and that's the unfair part about it. T.O. should have gotten in the second he was eligible to get in. He's one of the greatest wide receivers ever.
That's the best part about my crusade, is we get to do very little work and declare ourselves winners because T.O. has to get in this year, right? Right?
I mean, I just can't believe he's not already in. He's one of the 5 best at his position ever, maybe top 2.
Well, it's very clear it's not about merit. The voters are trying to teach T.O. a lesson.
Okay, but the part I want to get into about...
Yeah, but I want the voters teaching players lessons. I'm tired of that.
But the part I want to get into, okay, let's just say that the voters file that under the rationalization, or maybe it's the very strong belief of bad teammate, I will not allow a bad teammate into the Hall of Fame. The part I'd like to deconstruct is the athlete like T.O., arrogant showboat, when it's Mark Gastineau, when it's Rob Gronkowski, when it's the white guy who can celebrate his excellence with swagger, that guy ggets received differently than T.O., who is the cartoon manifestation of everything everyone has ever disliked about the arrogant black athlete, because he's doing sit-ups in the lawn, he's thinking about himself, he's fighting teammates. And so I want to examine the part of most of those voters in that room are old white people, and they're raining judgment down on bad teammate T.O., who represents everything that people in sports tend to hate about old people in sports. Old white people in sports tend to hate about athletes. Isn't he the greatest representation of it we've ever seen?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with that. I guess I don't understand how. It's not that I don't understand. It seems arbitrary when you want to apply these type of measurements to a specific player here and there. And that's what makes me uncomfortable. So, like, I'm joking a bit about this, but I think it's an important thing to discuss and to fight for. I think if we're going to take sports seriously, as so many of these people do, then we should also be fair about how we reward the athletes.
Who is the white guy that gets to be the defiant showboat? Because we'll knock some of it out of Baker Mayfield. We don't allow it in college at all among anybody. We want those students to stay broke. Stay broke financially and stay broke in.
You're saying outside of boxing and UFC.
I'm talking about, yeah, but UFC.
Like Conor McGregor doesn't.
I'm talking about, and I understand that many of you don't object to the racial element of this. This is also, it's not just cultural, it's generational. Young people like that stuff. For your sport to evolve, basketball is evolving and growing because young people love all of this crud. Oh, Russell Westbrook doesn't have to hide how he is. No, it makes even more interesting the fact that he's going at Kevin Durant. He doesn't have to conceal any parts of his personality. Russell Westbrook, I don't know. How is he received?
Well, now, I think the one of the more interesting things about the past year for me has been the transformation of Russell Westbrook. And it's not necessarily his transformation, but the way society receives him. And it's all because Durant left.
Right.
It's so weird. He hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He's playing the same style of basketball. He's still wearing crazy clothes.
Isn't that interesting? It hurt Durant and it helped Westbrook. It did. But in terms of persona and the way they're viewed.
His way of being, Westbrook's way of being, is rarely applauded by Sports America unless it's Kobe, Michael Jordan winning everything, and that cutthroat, like not smiling, hissing. Like Russell Westbrook's personality seems pretty joyless. Like it seems does it not come off when he's not singing at Taylor Swift concerts
and dancing before every game?
So it doesn't come off as like does he give off joy to you and joy in what he's doing, or does he play joyful or angry?
I think he plays angry. He gives off competitive when he's playing a basketball game. He gives off competitive. But outside of basketball, I do. I look at him.
LeBron gives off joy, does he not? LeBron's game, he is enjoying what he's doing. Draymond, the Warriors certainly give joy off. Allen Iverson didn't give. You enjoyed Allen Iverson's game. He wasn't giving. There was no joy.
Why,
in his
you feel like LeBron gives off joy when he's playing basketball? I guess he does, except for last night.
It all changed with Russell Westbrook when he became an underdog. We made him a lovable underdog.
And we also gave another black athlete to take his spot, Durant. He's like, oh, we can hate this guy.
Who's the white, defiant, arrogant guy that is allowed to be so? Like, because the people do have a problem with, this isn't all about arrogance, defiance, or black. It's a little bit of all of them when it comes to T.O., and that people don't like bad teammate.
Right. I mean, people had a problem with Baker Mayfield, right?
Yes.
Matt Hasselbeck. Coin toss in overtime. We're going to take the ball, go down and score. They did not, but I mean, that attitude was there.
Wait a minute.
Everyone was laughing at him.
They were laughing at him. But this is a thing that happens with white and black all the time. Let Charlie Strong grab a referee the way Mark Richt did in that game of the University of Miami. Let Charlie Strong grab a ref that way.
That would then be our crusade to do a public defense fund for free Charlie Strong. Get him out of jail.
I mean, is Gronk defiant? Is he defiant?
Yeah, I mean,
Gronk gets away with things that most people would not get away with.
Here's the thing: like, what T.O.'s greatest crime actually was not the arrogance, even though Sports America is keeping him out of the Hall of Fame. His greatest crime was zero self-awareness about how he could have helped himself by taking himself slightly less seriously. Because Barkley says some outlandish stuff, man, but you know that, like, if you can make fun of yourself, it punctures some of that defiance. Mike, I'm in the same place you are. Mike is looking around, and he's drowning in 49 boxes of T-shirts, but he can't believe that what Dominique Foxworth did right there is nominate Matt Hasselbeck for some...
Matt Hasselbeck.
I was trying to move on,
It was just
man.
horrific. It was
I personally thought it was awesome.
It was.
Yeah, but the way you presented it was like you had the answer.
Really
answer.
excited.
That was the best part.
Excited.
I thought it was a Harvard answer.
And we all there was a silence, but it wasn't a funny silence. We were just all staring at him like, dude.
It wasn't funny for you. For me, watching all of you on the edge of your seat, like, oh,
yes.
He's about to drop a bomb on
That's
us.
right. We were ready.
And I hit you with that Hasselbeck?
That's right.
And then
that's right.
Your face?
That's right. Yes.
Joy.
Yes. You ruined the segment, but accomplished what?
My pockets got tight. That made me happy.
What does that mean? Just play the white guy sound and go to break.
Baby.
I don't think it applies.
Dan Lebatard.
Did you love the Joker's Wild? 61% of the audience said no.
Oh, you damn young people soaring with so much ignorance.
Stugats.
You don't even know what we're talking about. The Joker's Wild is the truth, man. Stay woke.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Dominic Foxworth in with us today. He's not quite himself. Miami's a different place. We do this show from a different place. We're right on the beach, 10th and Ocean, Clevelander Hotel, and Dominic on his way in today just was almost dragged into a sexual situation. There were people having sex, and so he hasn't quite been himself. And so what happened last segment, I want to revisit it because Dominic and Stugats had a better conversation during the break than they did on air when Dominique nominated Matt Hasselbeck for the most arrogant white athlete of all time. Arrogant and defiant.
Universally accepted.
Right. Just a terrible, terrible I don't even understand what happened there. But during the break, they had had a great conversation about Aaron Rodgers and the idea of Aaron Rodgers walks around doing a championship belt. If Cam Newton did that, hell, you get mad at Cam Newton for the first down stuff. Tom Brady. Tom Brady yells at everybody. If Cam Newton was yelling at everybody,
there are different levels of defiance. There are different ways to go about being defiant. Aaron Rodgers will do that championship belt celebration, and if he makes a great pass and he beats you, he'll give you a little, a sly wink and a smile. That's a little bit different than how T.O. did it, and I think it's viewed differently because of that.
Do you remember when Aaron Rodgers spelled relax? Like, this is cocky stuff. And it's things that I personally love and appreciate, but the thing that Stu right there is presenting is nonsense. There's a different way that he does it. A different way.
No,
it's the same thing.
It's arrogant. It gets taken differently because it's Aaron Rodgers doing it. Tom Brady's simply screaming at people, and it gets taken as leadership because it's Tom Brady doing it.
Hold up. Did we just make Aaron Rodgers' championship belt worse than what Cam Newton does? Let's do it this way. Imagine Aaron Rodgers scores a touchdown, opens a Superman shirt under his uniform, and then dabs after he scores a touchdown.
But isn't it the same thing? Putting on a championship belt? How is it different?
Well, you were saying that imagine if Cam Newton does that. Cam Newton does that, and he dabs after every first down.
And then he hands a football to a kid when he scores a touchdown.
So you're
people don't like him.
You're arguing that it's a two-stage thing? Or that there's a dance involved? Like, I don't understand what you're arguing.
That you're holding up Aaron Rodgers' championship belt. Imagine if Cam Newton does that. Cam Newton does that, and he adds a dab to it.
I know, but Cam Newton is seen as arrogant and defiant, and Aaron isn't. That's the point is, it's the same kind of behavior received differently. The whole point of what we're talking about, same behavior received differently. Do you think a quarterback with Terrell Owens' credentials, top 5 of all time, if Johnny Manziel had been top 5 of all time, do you think anyone's keeping him out of the Hall of Fame? Because they put Joe Namath in with this personality, and he threw more interceptions than touchdowns in his career.
No, that guy's getting into the Hall of Fame.
Is a white player with Terrell Owens' credentials at the quarterback position getting into the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? Bad teammate. I'm saying the entire resume, and he's viewed as a bad leader and teammate, but he got to a Super Bowl, and he's got the greatest numbers of all time. You're not keeping Dan Fouts out of the Super Bowl there.
But that's the key.
Or out of the Hall of Fame, rather.
I don't think anyone questions his talent. It's viewed as a bad teammate. That's it. So Aaron Rodgers has never been viewed as a bad teammate.
Understood.
Will Matt Hasselbeck get in?
Again, you're doing this? You didn't learn your lesson from the last segment?
Hold on.
I'm serious about this.
Now he did.
Is a quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers is constantly hit with bad teammate, usually by Jermichael Finley. It's bizarre.
That is fair. I mean, there was a whole article a year ago about Aaron Rodgers being a bad teammate.
Yeah, he's hit with that all the time.
Wait a minute.
He's not the greatest example.
Hold on a minute. You guys believe that America thinks Aaron Rodgers' arrogance is problematic or makes him less likable? His confidence?
No, I don't, and that's where your point is made.
Well, no, but and look, man, Terrell Owens, it's a lot of different things. I don't even know what his greatest crime is. I just know that whatever it wasn't an actual crime. Like there were all sorts of people in the Hall of Fame.
It was the sit-ups, Dan.
Was it the sit-ups?
Oh,
absolutely. It wasn't just the sit-ups. It was the Rosenhaus, too, who was a big part of that whole thing. And it was just the me stuff. And that backfires on everybody. It backfired on Johnny Manziel, too. He's white.
So wait a minute. Hold on a second. You don't think it's worse to be an arrogant black athlete than it is to be an arrogant white athlete? You don't think that the public perception...
No, it's a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher.
That's all I'm saying.
It was tougher for Deion Sanders than Jason Sehorn, although I would have loved to have seen Jason Sehorn do that.
Oh, my God, Jason Sehorn. I miss him so much. That guy should have played every football game carrying around a hairbrush.
He deserved it, though. He deserved to be
so
cocky.
So pretty.
He deserved to be
yes,
cocky.
For sure.
Beautiful man. Still is.
No, but what Dominic is saying is if you are a cornerback in the NFL and you are white, you get cocky privileges.
I think last time I saw the numbers, it's like 99% black position.
Praise is pouring in via text. You're desperately searching for something racial and coming up short. I'm embarrassed for you.
Why'd you read that so fast?
Hasselbeck.